Today, we will be writing just the introductory paragraph of your persuasive essay. I've put a reminder on your worksheet for the prompt. So, what does freedom mean to you? Notice I capitalized freedom. That's not correct grammar, but the idea is I want this as a proper noun. Freedom, the idea, right? So, as you guys may recall, I gave you a handout previously, and I've cut it apart, and you'll get, again, the first page today. So this handout has some options for you, right? In your introduction, the first thing you have is a hook, right? Your attention grabber. So if you remember, yesterday I said you're going to have to memorize that acronym ABC MEET. And so XYZ, well, today's concept is ABC, your attention getter, aka your hook, the background information, and your claim or your thesis, right? So the first part of the worksheet gives you 6 options for an attention getter or the hook. Okay. Just like when fishing, you have to hook the fish, right, with bait. This bait is what's going to get your reader interested. So some options are opening with an unusual detail. All right. So these are all examples, right, that come after the bolded part. So if you're talking about freedom, right, you can give an unusual detail, maybe reference something in history, right? So we have some statistics and facts here talking about their example, which is about bees, right? Or you can have a question, right? Is freedom an idea or a tangible thing? Tangible means being able to touch, guys. So you can open with a quotation. Maybe you can find a quote about freedom, right? Go for it. Google quotes about freedom and see something that you like, and then you can put it in like this. So blank person once said, make sure you put in your comma and your quotation marks, and then paste their quote, right? That's one of the easiest ways. And for practice, I usually advise either opening with a quote or a question. Now, it's likely that on the STAR test, you're not going to have quotes memorized about whatever topic, okay? So you'll likely want to open with a question. So their example essay is about comparing bees, bee attacks and shark attacks, right? So they ask the reader, have you ever gone swimming in the ocean? Right? That's going to lead up to talking about sharks and shark attacks. So before we jump into the thesis, I want to take a look at the example introduction. Why? Because before your thesis, there's background information, right? So A, your attention grabber, aka your hook. Then there's background info. So let's take a look at their attention grabber. So they asked a question, right? Say, what is more dangerous to people, a shark or a bee? And then they answer that question, right? Answer B. And then they give background information right here, right? They give you guys about 3 sentences of background information. So whatever you decide about freedom, whatever your idea or concept is, you should give some sort of anecdotal information. If you're talking about freedom in regards to freedom of expression, discuss what freedom of expression is. That's background information. So you don't have to have it memorized, but generally what it is. or if you're talking about freedom of making decisions, right? Talk about why making your own decisions is important in a general way, you can say. Every person develops their identity or their personality or even their future, by making their own choices, whatever, right? So these people who made this example talk about some statistics as background information. They talk about every year 100 people die from bee stings, yet hundreds of millions of people go swimming, and sharks only kill about 6 people a year, right? So they're comparing the fact that sharks are not as lethal as bees. So I'm not saying you have to do 3 sentences. That's fine if you can only give me 1 or 2 sentences, okay? It's just a practice to get into it. Eventually, yes, the next time we do a practice essay and you're doing a timed writing, I will expect, a good 2 sentences. And if you're really on topic, 3 sentences is great. It really gives the reader an idea that you know what you're doing, okay? And then the last sentence in your introductory paragraph must be your thesis, okay? So their thesis is, we must do a more effective job at protecting sharks because, and then they'll give us their reasons, right? So you are going to say, freedom is blank, whatever your idea of freedom is, right? Or freedom means, you can use either of those 2 sentence stems. Freedom is, or freedom means, then blank, whatever it is or means to you, right? And then because. And you should have had one reason. You don't put the evidence in the introductory paragraph, guys. That we had a lot of people make that mistake. You do not put your evidence in your introductory paragraph. So that's all we're doing today. And I expect it to be 100% complete by the time you leave class.